he does not like when we bring that up. He wants it to be all about his guys, and you just hope that Coach D'Antonio at the end of the day is able to sit back and look at his career, especially here in East Lansing, and the job that he has done. But he is all about winning just one game at a time, and today it's against Indiana.
And Indiana kicking away to the Spartans, and the game starts with a touchback. So we will see if Brian Lewerke and that Michigan State offense can provide the consistency, James, that you were talking about.
Yeah, and he's had a really nice start to this season, already 1,025 yards and 7 touchdowns and only 1 interception. That's been a big improvement for Brian Lewerke. He's making smart decisions, finding multiple different wide receivers. But again, they're looking for just a consistent game to where they can get not only the yards, but also the scores. It's kind of been one or the other so far this season.
Good crowd on a pleasant day at Spartan Stadium. Had a lot of rain last night and this morning, but that is clear, just overcast skies now. And we will start on the ground, a run with Elijah Collins. He again has become the bell cow, and he picks up a first down there with a gain of 12. And as you look at the offense for Michigan State, keep an eye on left tackle because that's been a revolving door for them.
Yeah, it has. They've gone through now 4. This is their 4th guy at left tackle on this offensive line. That was an issue a year ago. It's been an issue so far. And look for Cody White. Darryl Stewart leads a lot of categories in the Big Ten, but Cody White has kind of been the forgotten about guy at wide receiver here in East Lansing.
Collins in the backfield again. Rolling. Lewerke going back to his right. And wide open was Seibert, and he's got a lot of room to roll into Indiana territory and shoved out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. That play worked to perfection for 25 yards.
And I love the play design here. It's a sprint out. If it's not there, they had the outlet pass to Seibert there on the backside. That is excellent play design by Brad Salem. You get the whole defense flowing one way, able to go back to the backside, and no one is there for Indiana.
So was Seibert the second option on that play?
He was. The first option is the wide receiver on a corner route. If it's not there, throw it backside.
But unfortunately, this time for the Spartans, that goes backwards. Micah McFadden, sophomore linebacker, coming up, making the stop for a loss of 3 as we get a look at Indiana's defense.
Look at Raekwon Jones right there, number 7. He's the guy in the middle that makes a lot of plays for them. Leads the team, these Hoosiers, and tackles. And on the back end, we've already mentioned Fitzgerald. He made the tackle on Seibert earlier in this game.
So now 2nd and 13. Lewerke drops, goes deep over the middle, and it is incomplete. Cody White, the guy you talked about a moment ago, James, tried to bring it in, but Raheem Lane was able to jar it free. And he's saying his right shoulder is hurt.
Well, you can tell, I don't know if it was Raheem Lane. He's right in phase, great coverage. White does a nice job going up for it. And yes, it looks like Lane was able to kind of pull at that right arm of White, the ball moving before it hits the ground. You can see Lewerke trusts Cody White to go up for the ball.
So Raheem Lane goes out for this snap as they bring Jalen Williams in. That's something to track at corner. As Michigan State deals with a 3rd and 13, pressure coming, pass complete, close to the line to gain. Trenton Gillison with the catch. He's going to be about a yard short. You would think Michigan State goes for this.
Yes, with the issues that they've had at kicker and a long field goal here, you would think they'd go for it, and with tempo.
Yep, they're getting up quickly, quarterback sneak. Collins trying to push Lewerke. Look at that. How about that extra effort? With Collins behind and the offensive line churning those legs, they pick up the first down.
And Brandon, it looked initially like he was stopped. It looked like he kind of got stalled, and just a great job by Collins helping out, pushing in the back, and a nice job by that offensive line continuing to drive their feet to make sure the first down.
So the drive continues here for the Spartans. Just getting the snap off. Collins with nowhere to go. There is a flag down. So our first flag of the game, and our referee, Mike Cannon.
sideline warning, the Indiana bench. There's no yardage penalty that goes with that. Second down.
Here are the Auto Owners Insurance Impact players, James.
Yeah, well, Elijah Collins, we've already seen his ability. He has taken over the tailback position for Michigan State. Darrell Stewart leading the Big Ten in receptions and yards. Marcelino Ball, he plays this Husky role. He will line up everywhere from linebacker to safety, kind of that nickelback position. And then Cam Jones, they say, might be the most dynamic linebacker they've seen. He had a huge game last week with that interception return for a touchdown.
That was in the win over Connecticut. That pass is nearly intercepted. Coming up, Brian Fitzgerald, the redshirt sophomore. He's frustrated. He thought he should have had it.
Granted, if he had it, he might have been gone. With the only person he had to beat would be Lewerke. Look at, oh my goodness, off the hands. Fitzgerald, we mentioned him earlier. He has really shown up on film. Plays extremely hard. That time, he'll wish to have that one back.
He had 3 interceptions last year as a freshman. None this year, as he missed that opportunity. 3rd and 10. Lewerke hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down, and Michigan State will try to settle for 3. Watch Alan Stallings getting the pressure.
Yeah, well, they tried to cut him with the running back, and instead, he's able to just leap over. Nice athletic play there by Stallings to get to Lewerke. And Mullen, the true freshman corner, nice job in coverage on Stewart.
The kicking game has been up and down this year for Michigan State. Matt Coghlin did miss 4 in a row before hitting a chip shot last week. This is from 43. And the kick is wide to the left. And Coghlin's struggles continue. Michigan State has won 9 of the last 10 Old Brass spittoons. So the first throw for Michael Penix, returning from injuries, complete to Fillier. And now Fillier doing a lot of dancing around, but ultimately he's going to lose yardage. It'll bring up 2nd and 12. Tackled by Joe Bocci. You're going to hear that name a lot.
Well, Michael Penix Jr. here, lefty. It's important to know from Mike Tressel and every defender on the field, but he can create with his feet, but also watch him attempt the long ball. Coach is telling us that he can get rid of that thing a lot quicker. He can take shots downfield. They felt better than Peyton Ramsey. This time another short pass. Again, it's Whop Fillier. He gets some of that yardage back and a little extra out to the 29. 3rd and 6. And as we look at Indiana's offense, again, we talk about left tackle, a freshman, Matt Bedford, getting the start. Yeah, Matt Bedford, true freshman. How about your first start against this Spartans defense? Not easy. Such a powerful D, and especially up front. But Indiana definitely missing Coy Cronk, who was injured last week and is done for the season. Hoosiers need 6 yards. Penix escapes the pocket and just gets rid of it. Tried to get the edge, but he couldn't. Hoosiers will punt. How about that speed from Raekwon Williams? You talk a lot about the D tackles in this scheme and how they're able to hold up against the run. But that time, big Raekwon Williams, number 99, wasn't allowing Penix to get that corner for the first down. That's a nice job. And I was surprised at that because, as we talked about, Penix has great speed, and I think he thought he was going to get the edge. Soward's back to return the punt. And a fair catch called for just inside the 30. So both teams have had a drive, but we still have goose eggs on the board. But now he's out at left tackle. Protecting Brian Lewerke as he fires a fastball that is hauled in at the 40-yard line for an 11-yard gain. C.J. Hayes with a reception. Well, remember, and you were mentioning it to me during the break, but last year that offensive line used 9 different starting combinations because of all the injuries. So they're used to this. Yeah, this isn't the first time these guys are starting. It might be at different positions, but they have experience at different spots. Trying to create some room there for Collins. He gets 2 yards. Offensive ranks here
for Michigan State, and Brad Salem is the first-year coordinator.
And they're still just trying to find consistency. They're trying to find that perfect game where you feel like you can move it down and finish. How many times did he mention finish to us in the meeting yesterday? He wants his team to be able to finish drives, finish games consistently.
Lewerke rolling out, finding his tight end, Seibert. Seibert needed to get to the 50, and that's where he got before he's upended by Juwan Burgess. First down, Spartans.
Yeah, well, nickname is Mr. Reliable, given to him by the third-string quarterback, Theo Day, because he catches everything. And you see right there, so far in this game, he's got 2 catches and has been Mr. Reliable for Brian Lewerke.
He had 2 touchdowns last week against Northwestern. They are really utilizing the tight end spot a lot more this year than they did the past 2 seasons. Here, going up top for the receiver, Cody White. Lewerke dropped that right into the breadbasket for a gain of 29.
Nice touch by Lewerke here. Put it on the outside shoulder, right where Cody White can get it as he fades away from Raheem Lane. Nicely done by Lewerke.
And we saw Lane go out. Now he's back in there and got beat on that play. Short carry, 1 yard here for Lewerke before he's tackled by Alfred Bryant. Lewerke at 962 career rush yards. He is 38 away from 1,000. On 2nd and 9, incomplete, but there's a flag. They're going to get Raekwon Jones. Gillison, the intended target.
Pass interference, defense, number 7. Ball would be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Yeah, Raekwon Jones is all over Gillison here. You'll see him tug on the jersey. Doesn't even give him a chance to finish running his route. And I've been in that position before. You're playing a certain leverage and the receiver tries to break your leverage. Sometimes it's all too natural to try to tug and get away with it. That time, not so lucky for Raekwon Jones.
And the Spartans are set up nicely now. 1st and goal. Collins bouncing it outside into the end zone. Michigan State strikes first. Elijah Collins from 4 yards out. Just inside of 9 minutes. Or 8:04 remaining, I should say, in the first quarter. Coghlin missed the field goal, but no problem with a PAT. 30-yard reception by Cody White set this up. Elijah Collins hitting pay dirt, putting the Spartans on top.
He is one of my favorite things about him. Plays the game of basketball, I feel like a football player would. Sometimes over the line.
That's all right. Like you said, in the spirit of competition. Even Ellis returning for Indiana. Yard return by Ellis, and now Indiana, who went 3 and out on their opening drive with 3 passes, will try to do better on drive number 2. Michael Penix, the redshirt freshman, as we said, started the first 2 games of the season, then out with an undisclosed injury weeks 3 and 4. Game time decision today, and he is the man. We've got a timeout here just before the play clock ran down.
Indiana, they're first. This will be a 30-second timeout.
All right, let's go to Rick Pizzo now for an American Family Insurance Studio update. Okay, Rick, thank you very much. So an early timeout burn there. Probably not what Tom Allen and Indiana wanted. Especially not to start a drive.
No, and so far they've tried to throw the ball 3 times to get it out on the perimeter, trying to kind of make this defense play horizontally to try to open up some inside gaps for the ground game.
Pitching it out to Ronnie Walker. So the first run of the game for Indiana goes to Walker, and he takes it out to the 33, gain of 6. Look at that Spartans defense.
Well, big Mike Ponashuk in the middle. Talk about a guy who just consistently plays at a high level. And Antoine Simmons, he is second. A lot's been made about Joe Bocci's production. He is second on that production chart. And Josiah Scott, how about 21 games, all of them starts, and 21 pass breakups. That's production as well.
Flag coming in here before things get going.
False start, offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's on the 5th-year senior, the right guard, Simon Stepanak.
Stepanak was on one of Bruce Feldman's freaks, his freak list in the offseason. How about 41 reps of 225 on the bench and a 410-pound hang clean? Well, sounds like your numbers in the gym there,
Yeah,
Brandon.
they're similar. They're similar. See, but I wouldn't have had the false start. That's the difference. Penix out of the gun. He'll drop it off outside to Stevie Scott. Scott with blockers ahead, and they're going to mark him about a yard short. 3rd and 1. Let's get the Auto Owners Insurance Impact players on this side of the ball.
Yeah, well, Watt Filler's a guy that Mike Tressel, the defensive coordinator for Michigan State, said we have to be aware of where he lines up every single play. Peyton Hendershot, touchdown the last 3 games each. Kenny Willekes and Joe Bocci, those two both have been a Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week. One in week 1, and Joe Bocci last week.
Indiana needs just 1 yard, and Stevie Scott's going to get it. Needed 3 feet, he got about 5. And we go down to Elise Smeneker.
Brandon, I talked to head coach Tom Allen before the game, and he told me his choice to put Michael Penix in. Well, he said a healthy Penix is our best option, but he really likes his arm and his legs. He said that can give Michigan State's defense a challenge. Now, Ramsey could go in. He said that would be to give Penix a reset button, kind of like to take a breather if the pressure gets to be too much.
Well, Penix here, he's going to drop back. Pressure coming. He does go deep, but it's incomplete. Westbrook was there, but the guy who got a hand on it was Josh Butler.
Yeah, an offensive coordinator, Kalen DeBoer, was saying that he felt that their strength of their offense was their wide receivers. He wanted them to take shots. And you see here, Penix just puts it a little bit outside, maybe a little miscommunication. It looked like Nick Westbrook was expecting that ball on his inside shoulder instead of his outside shoulder. But the first shot of the game by offensive coordinator Kalen DeBoer.
Fillier escorted out of bounds by Butler just past the 40-yard line. 3rd down coming up for Indiana. We've seen them get the ball to Fillier 3 times and all right around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and that's what offensive coordinator Kalen DeBoer was telling us. He said he's the first person when I'm drawing up my game plan, I think about how can I get him the football in space. And so far, he's been a focal point Indiana Hoosiers offense.
Quick out to Fillier again. Fillier can't get to the first down marker. Now he's only a yard short, but you're going against Michigan State's defense. What do you do if you're Tom Allen?
Well, I think you be aggressive. I think you continue to try to send a message to your team that we're gonna come here to East Lansing to win this game.
And they will indeed keep the offense on the field. Samson James, and he's tripped up in the backfield. What a play by Antoine Simmons, the junior who has burst onto the scene this year. And Michigan State gets the football.
Watch the junior and his anticipation. Once he notices Samson James stop and come back, he just shoots his gun. Lays out to make the tackle for loss. He has played the most snaps on this Michigan State defense this year. And it shows why with production like that.
He's been waiting his turn, and he's having a great breakout season. Now it's the other number 34 on the offensive side of the ball, Anthony Williams, getting his first carry, tackled by Juwan Burgess after a gain of a couple. No Connor Hayward today for Michigan State, out for personal reasons, so you'll see Collins, Williams, and then some of Ladarius Jefferson as well. This time Lewerke passing. Threw it a little behind Dotson, but Dotson was still able to reel it in to bring up 3rd and short.
You see there the quick decision-making of Brian Lewerke, able to get the ball out of his hand quickly. And again, Michigan State and Brad Salem, the offensive coordinator, utilizing these tight ends early in this ball game.
4 receptions by the Michigan State tight ends already. And good to see Dotson back out there. He missed last week with a hand injury. Lewerke got an option and wide open, but he dropped it, Anthony Williams. Oh, if he catches that, he has nothing in front of him but green grass.
Brandon, they had the Hoosiers fooled. This is called a roll pass. You have the whole line go to the left, the running back goes out to the right, and there was nobody from that Hoosier defense that alerted that play right there. And Williams just has to look this in. He had a touchdown. If he catches that in stride, it turns upfield.
But they're going to go for it here on 4th and 1 from the 31. It's Ladarius Jefferson, his first carry of the game, and he is short. So Michigan State's defense forced to turn over on downs, and now Tom Allen's crew does the same thing, and man, is he fired up.
Brandon, I like the decision to go for it. I don't like the outside run play. I think you have an advantage running downhill, and it's great penetration by the Hoosier defense to be able to get push, knock the offensive line off the ball. You see the energy for good reason. That's a big impact play.
Yeah, Tom Allen never one to be short on energy. Hey, and we mentioned Connor Hayward just a moment ago not playing. That's probably usually where he would have gotten the carry.
Yeah, he is in the past been their short yardage and their 3rd, 4th down running back. Not in the game as he's not dressed today.
So now Indiana takes over. Good hole here for Stevie Scott. Busting it out to midfield. Churning those powerful legs at 230 pounds for a gain at 19 as we go back to Rick Pizzo for an American Family Insurance Studio update. Boy, not good news for Purdue at all. Sindelar and Moore, 2 big offensive weapons as Stevie Scott with another carry, this time for 7 yards.
Well, yesterday talking to Mike Tressel, you say, hey, what do you need to improve on in the meeting? And he said, we need to stop the run. He felt that at the end of the game last week against Northwestern, he was not happy with how his unit finished. And so far, the last 2 runs by Stevie Scott have been impressive.
And here's a flag as the defense jumps. Quick throw out to Ty Freifogel, and he hauls it in around the 25. 16 yards as Mike Cannon rejoins
Offside.
us.
Defense, number 48. Penalties declined. Result of the play, first down.
So they look great on the last drive, this defense, but Indiana looking strong here.
That's a nice job by Penix to recognize the fact that he had a free play. Just get rid of the football no matter what. Give your receiver a chance. And that time, Freifogel was wide open.
Back to Scott, and he's dropped in the backfield. Guess who? Antoine Simmons, already his second tackle for a loss. And this goes backwards for 2 yards.
And again, the recognition. The right side of your screen, he attacks the hole. He doesn't wait. What I love about watching him on film, Brandon, is the fact that he just shoots his gun, meaning he just takes that space out. A lot of players will sit in the hole and kind of wait for the running back to make a decision. That time, he turns into the running back. He sees the hole, knows where Scott's going to try to go, and makes a tackle for loss.
Now he has 7 of those on the season. Hale in motion. But Penix wants to throw it. Hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Coverage by Butler on Scott out of the backfield, and Indiana will have a 3rd and 12 coming up.
And you'll see Michael Penix gets hit as he releases it. And he tried to force one here. He had Donovan Hale in the flat, wide open. And when you see that corner sink in coverage, you got to take what the defense gives you. That would have set up a 3rd and medium. Instead, now they're living in 3rd and 12.
Penix going for the end zone, and he's got his man, Whop Fillier. And the Hoosiers are on the board. Michael Penix, 28 yards to the junior from Tampa, Whop Fillier.
And that one stings if you're the Spartans defense. You're drop 8, you have everybody in coverage, and on 3rd and 12, Whop Fillier finds the soft spot, and you have to wonder if it's either a mental lapse or if it's a coverage breakdown. Missed assignment on the Spartans.
And the extra point ties us up at 7 apiece. All right, let's take a look now at this message from Nationwide. Oh, big turnaround. They stop Michigan State on downs at the Hoosier 31, and then they get in the end zone, and these are the first points that Michigan State has allowed in the first quarter all season.
And again, great recognition by Michael Penix to find Whop Fillier. He just sneaks behind Josiah Scott, who we mentioned in the open, that Josiah Scott is a very talented corner for this Spartan defense. And I'm impressed by that drive by the Hoosiers. As you mentioned, it came up with a big 4th down stop by the defense, and then they're able to run the football on a couple runs. And then Penix, again, showing great awareness, just recognizing the open filler in the back of the end zone.
He had his coming out party last year against Michigan State, Whop Fillier, when he had 13 catches and 148 yards in that loss in Bloomington. 28-yard grab there in the end zone to tie us up with 1:35 to go in the opening frame. Pre-game, we had Tom Allen mic'd up.
The Hoosiers are back, baby! The Hoosiers are back! First trip to East Lansing, huh? Yeah! Make some memories today. Let's make some memories today. Hey, lead them up front, Simon. Just poise, baby. Poise. 60 minutes of physical football, baby. Playing for that best platoon! Got it with me! I got it with me, baby! I got it with me!
as this drive starts with a Williams run for no gain. And what he was saying he had with him there was a picture of the old brass spittoon that they're playing for here.
Well, he does not lack energy, does he? And whether it's on the field or on a phone call earlier in the week, he is a guy that you can tell his team plays with that kind of energy and passion. He mentioned to us that he wants it to seem like there are 12 guys on the field on both sides of the ball when they play, because they play that much passion and that much effort.
Pre-snap penalty here, movement up front.
False start, offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, second down.
So that's the right tackle, Jordan Reed, to back Mark D'Antonio up 5 yards. One minute to go in the quarter. Lewerke quickly out of his hands. Gets it to Darrell Stewart. Stewart, who leads the Big Ten with 31 receptions, gets just a short gain of 7 yards, excuse me.
First reception of the day. That makes it 29 straight games he's had a reception. And Darrell Stewart, we asked offensive coordinator Brad Salem about him. He said, look, we look for our guys to have their best year, their senior year. And so far, he's done that.
Third down at 9. Lewerke completing it over the middle. Adjusting C.J. Hayes with his second grab, and that's a big one to keep the drive going.
C.J. Hayes' role has increased with Jalen Naylor being out. And from up here, I didn't know if he overthrew Stewart or was throwing it to Hayes. Either way, the Spartans offense is excited because that's a first down.
I thought the same thing when the ball was in the air. I wasn't sure who that was intended for, but it worked out. And the clock will wind down to the end of the first quarter. We had a couple of touchdowns, but we also had 2 big fourth down stops by both of these defenses. An entertaining first 15 minutes from East Lansing. Antonio mentioned it pregame, but Lorenzo White will go into the College Football Hall of Fame in December and honored on the field during that last timeout. Michigan State's all-time leading rusher. Now the Spartans offense, hoping that Lorenzo White can rub off on them here as Lewerke goes deep for Stewart. He's got it. Inside the red zone. "35-yard connection, Lewerke to Stewart."
And again, a nice touch on the deep ball by Brian Lewerke, this time to Stewart. He had a nice throw earlier in the game to Cody White, this time to Stewart. So far, a nice touch on the deep balls by Brian Lewerke.
And here, he's going to tuck it and run just for a yard. But Lewerke, James, 4 completions of 20 or more yards to 4 different receivers.
Coming in, you're thinking Michigan State, run the football. We know what Mark D'Antonio wants to do. He wants his teams to reach that magic number of 40. His record is really good when they reach 40 carries as a group. And instead, it's been Lewerke sharing the football through the air.
155 yards passing this time. He fakes it, keeps it again, but there's just not a whole lot there out on the right side as he slides down in front of Raekwon Jones. No gain. Surprised at that play call?
You know, it's Brad Salem trying to get back to a 3rd and medium or a 3rd and short. You try to do a little zone read action to make this 3rd down easier. A lot easier to call plays when it's 3rd and short than it is here at 3rd and 9.
Over the middle, wide open, Cody White. It'll be 1st and goal from the 5 for Michigan State.
That's good protection. When you go no back like this, you need a little bit of time to throw the football. Cody White just running a simple drag route. The zone defenders got deep. Lewerke was able to find him wide open underneath.
Cody White with 42 yards receiving. He had 70 and a touchdown last week. This is for Stewart, incomplete. Broken up by the freshman, the true freshman, Taiwan Mullen.
Taiwan Mullen, a 4-star recruit. That's part of the much talked about top-rated class in Indiana history, and a nice job playing through the hands of Stewart.
Worky says, my fault there. Should have put that in a different spot. Second and goal off play action. Toward the back of the end zone. Stewart goes up for this one, but it's incomplete. Broken up again by Taiwan Mullen.
Taiwan Mullen making some plays as a true freshman. Worky threw a nice ball there. If you wanted to be picky, you could have said, okay, maybe a little more air on it, but Stewart has both hands on it. That's just Mullen making a great play, trying to pull his arm down. He's making plays like his brother who played at Clemson and now with the Raiders.
And now Mullen may be cramping up as he reaches for the right calf. But we're seeing a true freshman grow up right before our eyes here. And with Indiana missing a couple of backup corners in Reese Taylor and Ashawn Riggins due to injury in practice this week, they need Taiwan Mullen to stay on the field.
And I mentioned that top-rated class by the Hoosiers. He is one of 5 4-star recruits to go to Bloomington. And so far, you can see exactly why he's getting the time that he is. There's just some players that come in mature and are ready to play. And you mentioned the injuries. He's getting an opportunity and going up against one of the leaders, Darryl Stewart, in the Big Ten in receptions and yards.
He heads off as we get a peek at Kane Womack, 32-year-old defensive coordinator and linebackers coach for Indiana. Hoping his crew can get a stop here and hold Michigan State to 3.
He talked to us about winning situational football, and this is one of those. How do we win in the red zone to make sure they try 3 instead of letting up 6?
Lewerke over the middle, and that defense will not stop the Spartans. Darryl Stewart, 3rd time's the charm. They went to him on 1st down and 2nd down with no luck, but here he's into the end zone to put the Spartans back on top.
You see here, there's just a lot of traffic. And Raheem Lane cannot stay inside on Darryl Stewart. And if you are a defender down there in the low red zone, you have to play on inside leverage. Make him throw it to the outside. Instead, that time Stewart able to get inside.
Michigan State 3 for 3 on 3rd downs on this drive. Darryl Stewart getting the touchdown grab. 5th of his career to put the Spartans back in front, 14-7. And now Cole Hahn to kick it away. Ellis takes it on the run. Trying to bounce it out to the left side. Down across the 25 as we go to Chicago. Here's Rick Pizzo for an American Family Insurance Studio update. But Purdue just can't seem to catch a break in the early part of this season.
And you hate to see that with Rondale Moore, one of the most electric football players in all of college football.
And here their in-state rival Indiana starts this drive with a carry by Stevie Scott. Tackled by Tyreek Thompson, pickup of 2.
trying to go back to that ground game. They had success on the touchdown drive. Trying to see if they can get some more chunks out of that ground game. A little bit surprised by that in the last drive, that Michigan State was letting up a couple of big runs by Indiana.
Stevie Scott so far, 5 carries, 28 yards. This time Penix to throw with pressure coming. He gets it out to Scott. And Scott is dragged down from behind at the 34 by Antoine Simmons. Indiana will face a 3rd and 4.
A smart play by Penix this time. He senses pressure. Where's my outlet? Where's my guy that I can check it down to make sure we're not in 3rd and 10? That little throw out there to the flat gave them a chance to be in 3rd and 4. That's a smart football play for a young quarterback.
Situations like these, they try to find Whop Phillier. He's got 6 catches already in the game. He's down at the bottom of the screen with that stack of receivers. Penix in trouble. Gets rid of it, incomplete as he throws it out of bounds behind Ty Freifogel. Kenny Willekes was bringing some pressure.
Yeah, you can see that frustration on Kenny Willekes. He had an opportunity, but the athleticism, look on the bottom of your screen, the athleticism of Michael Penix, the ability, he sees them on the up and under and escapes. He is an athlete. Jumped 22 feet in high school in the long jump. How about a 22.8, 200 meter? He can move. Kenny Willekes that time just couldn't get him.
But still, Indiana will have to punt it away here. As Hayden Whitehead was up toward the line, then backs up and gets it away, end over end. Soward sliding down for the fair catch just inside the 30. I love the throwback footage where everyone has the huge shoulder pads. As Lewerke's going to keep it here. A little space outside. Not going to get the first down as he's dragged out by Marcelino Ball across the 35 as we check back in with Elise.
Lorenzo, you laughed earlier when I said 9th time is the charm, but the truth is you have waited a long time for this. College Football Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor. Describe what this moment is like for you.
Well, after going through it last night, man, brought tears to my eyes, you know, to talk about the things that we had to, you know, to get accomplished this. But, and it feels great to receive that award. You know, I know 9 times was a long time, but, you know, it's well worth it right now.
It sure is. Now, you still hold records in career touchdowns, yards, attempts. Of all of your accomplishments, what are you most proud of?
What I'm mostly proud of, I mean, I'm just proud of my team members and the guys that pretty much, you know, had my back and was there for me.
Lorenzo, thanks for the time. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well deserved.
All right, Lorenzo White going into the College Football Hall of Fame in December. And his Spartans last time ran it with Maurice Nelson. First rush attempt for the junior receiver. Now they go back to the air, and that's dropped in and out of the hands of Matt Dotson. 3rd and 5 forthcoming.
Yeah, Dotson should have had that. Lewerke put it right on him, but the impact from Bryant Fitzgerald shows up right as the ball gets there. And as Dotson's trying to corral it, he's not able to. And again, Fitzgerald has shown up a few times today in that secondary for Indiana.
Five wide here for Michigan State. Indiana only rushes 3. That ball hit off the back of Taiwan Mullen, the corner, and that'll bring up 4th down for the Spartans.
And again, I've been impressed with Taiwan Mullen just being a true freshman out there in this situation. He's playing a trail technique there, and Kane Womack telling him, "You're doing a pretty nice job for a young man out there," and he's been dialing up some really interesting stuff. I mean, just on that last play, he had Marcelino Ball lined up at defensive end. As he mentioned to us he would do, he said that he loves in that Husky position to put him all over the field, whether a nickel, linebacker, at this time, defensive end.
First punt for Jake Hartbarger, and that one goes way into the sky and a little too far. Hoosiers start this drive for the 20. Quick screen out to Fillier. Pushed out at the 25. Let's go to Chicago. Here's Rick Pizzo with an American Family Insurance Studio update. Thank you, Rick. 2nd and 5 for Indiana.
10 of 10. Is that good?
That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't think you can do much better. Penix here is 9 of 13 passing for the Hoosiers. And now he's 10 of 14, first down, as he goes right back to the Whop Fillier well.
Yeah, that's the 7th catch for Whop in this game so far. And Kalen DeBoer, the offensive coordinator, said, we need our outside skill to make plays.
Before the action kicks off on Saturdays, Dave, Jerry, Howard, and Michelle get the excitement started. BTN Tailgate Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern, delivered by Papa John's. Watch it on BTN, of course, also on the Fox Sports app. On the ground this time, Ronnie Walker. 2-yard carry across the 35. Joe Bocci credited with another tackle.
Joe is so good at reading plays and being able to see plays develop. Indiana tried to pull there. He's right there in the hole to meet Walker.
Reigning Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week, the 4th time in his career that Bocci has won that award. Penix, quick throw, getting it out to his tight end. And Hendershot with a gain of 5 there.
Coming in, Hendershot led the team in receptions. And that time does a nice job of making Jacob Panashuk miss. It's kind of the check down, the late release. They love to use him on those late releases. Sometimes it's a wide delay over the middle of the field. That time it was more to the flat. Nice job cutting back and gaining some yards for the Hoosiers offense.
3rd down and 3. Empty set for Michael Penix. And able to complete the pass. A flag comes in as well. Likely for the defensive interference, but Donovan Hale with a good catch to move the sticks.
Before the pass, holding, defense, number 3, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Well, you see up top here, it actually looked like it was on maybe Josh Butler where the flag came out, but Donovan Hale using that big body, Brandon. When you're 6'4", 218, you get inside a defender much bigger than the 6', 182 Josh Butler, able to screen him off to make that catch in the big conversion.
Yeah, the biggest receiver that the Indiana Hoosiers have. That frame helped him there, and they go right back to it. Slipping by, great move. Able to get some extra yards out of that, down to the 33, a pickup of 16.
Michael Penix is seeing the field really well right now. He's sensing where the defenders aren't for Michigan State, making the easy throws out to the flats. And so far, after talking to offensive coordinator earlier in the week, Kalen DeBoer, he said we wanted to attack Michigan State through the air. They've done so pretty efficiently so far.
Back to the air again. Penix has 3 chasing, and he lofts it up. It's caught inside the 10 and down to the 5. Donovan Hale, 3 straight receptions for the Indiana Hoosiers.
And Brandon, that was made possible. Stevie Scott picks up the rusher there, giving Penix the time to move to his left to find Hale downfield. And that's a nice job by the sophomore running back. picking up the line stunt. You saw him throw his body in there, making the block for his young quarterback.
28-yard reception for the fifth-year senior, and now Indiana knocking on the door. And we're going to get whistles and a timeout. Michigan State takes it.
They're first.
We could be talking about a sack for Jacob Panasiuk instead.
Penix 5 for 5 on this drive, 63 yards, and now he looks to cap it off. It's loud in here, trying to communicate with a line. Stevie Scott stretching it out to the 4.
Brandon, down here in the low red zone, 5-yard line and in, is where an athletic guy like Michael Penix can use his legs. Those zone reads, maybe they'll come back to that later in this drive, and he'll pull it, keep it himself, and trust his athleticism one-on-one with the Michigan State defender.
Penix back to throw. Flag comes in as Penix tosses it out of bounds. A hold on Indiana. I think they're going to get Caleb Jones.
Holding. Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Yeah, Caleb Jones on the right tackle over here on the right side of your screen, working one-on-one with Jacob Panasiuk. You can tell he just takes him to the ground, and anytime you tackle the defender like that, that makes it easy on the official to throw the flag.
And now Indiana backed up to the 14-yard line. Walker splits out wide left. Penix to Hale. Hale escaping, but he ultimately can't get away as he pounds the turf in frustration, getting it to the 7. Brings up 3rd and goal.
You'll see the throw here a little behind him, stops his momentum slightly, but great effort by Hale to break through some tackles, and the Spartans are fortunate that he was slipped up there trying to bust through.
What do you think Indiana goes with?
I think you go through the air and you try to give your quarterbacks 2 options. Either find the first read or else take off. Use those legs to get into the end zone.
3rd and goal. Penix going for the back pylon. That's a flag all day. Kalen Gervin was holding Nick Westbrook.
Number 18. Penalty occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
And a mistake by the redshirt freshman.
Yeah, and Gervin, you'll see his beat, so he's trying to overcompensate and undercut the route. And when Westbrook stops and comes back, he already has too much momentum, so he grabs. Which in all reality, that might not be the worst play, because if he allows Westbrook to come back, that's a touchdown. So he does save a touchdown with the penalty.
Tee him up 1st and goal again, this time from the 2. And they hand it coming across, and he stopped short as James. So Samson James comes across, 2nd and goal, no yards on the carry.
Very similar play. They tried this earlier on the 4th down play to James. Across the ball, and again, Antoine Simmons recognizes it.
What a spectacular game it's been for Antoine Simmons. And this crowd is making some noise for the Spartans defense. Play fake, Penix keeps, and he wins the foot race. His first rushing attempt of the day, and he takes it into the end zone to make it 14-13.
And that's the extra element, Brandon, that you get with an athletic quarterback like Penix. Especially down here in the low red zone, the ability just to use his legs We mentioned his speed earlier, being a track guy. Displayed it there.
And now Logan Justice, the fifth-year senior, will try to tie us up at 14. Just inside the right upright. Woo, close, but it works all the same. Michael Penix, what a drive. 6 for 6 passing it, and the 2-yard touchdown run to cap it off.
Taking the short throws to the flat when there. He's also been able to see plays happen downfield when routes have taken a little longer to develop. And so far, so good for Michael Penix.
Short kick, Stewart from the 10. Trying to escape. He does escape, at least momentarily. Then he made something out of nothing as he steps out near the 30. Stay tuned for the halftime report presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Mike, Glenn, and Joshua, they'll be along from our Chicago studio to get you caught up on everything going on in the Big Ten today. We'll also hear from Jim Harbaugh in his press conference. As Michigan righted the ship with a big win over Rutgers.
Yes, they did. They have a big one next week when they have the Hawkeyes coming to town, but that's going to be all eyes in the college football world on that matchup next Saturday.
Penix, after the touchdown run, gets a breather. Now his counterpart, Brian Lewerke, goes to work. Off the play fake, and a little miscommunication. Larice Nelson was the intended target, but he had his back to the quarterback. Lewerke on the season, 62% coming in, 11 for 20 today, including just 1 for his last 6. It's time to the ground. Collins cuts it back left. But Raekwon Jones and company make the stop after a short 2-yard gain, 3rd and 8.
So far, Brandon, a really nice job by Indiana's rush defense. They have not allowed Michigan State to get going on the ground. Only 39 yards so far for the Spartans.
Here goes a chance again for Indiana with their creative 3rd down packages defensively. Lewerke with an empty set. Indiana rushing 3. Lewerke escapes and is able to pick up the 1st down. So Blake Buter hobbles off. He's the backup center to Matt Allen, but as you said, he's an important piece to that offensive line.
With so many injuries already, you're challenging your depth. And you can see he just gets rolled up there on his lower leg.
They go to Collins, and Collins is swarmed in the backfield. Micah McFadden leading the charge, the linebacker for Indiana.
What a nice play by McFadden. Just running the alley, securing the tackle. You pursue inside out. You're only giving Collins 1 opportunity to go up the sideline. When you take that angle, you eliminate the cutback. Nice play by McFadden.
You saw Tom Allen before we went to break really getting into it with Kane Womack, but Womack's defense responds there, a loss of 4. Lewerke, pressure from the backside, and he throws it into the dirt just before James Head Jr. gets a sack, and then good sportsmanship to help him up.
Well, Indiana sent some pressure, and Higbee blocked down. Look on the top of your screen. They just let Head come free. Higbee comes down on the blitzer. Head's able to get a free run at Lewerke, and fortunate to get that ball out before Head could get there.
So a tough 3rd and 14. And incomplete. Stewart turned around too late. Now Stewart wants a flag, but he's not going to get it.
It just seems like the last few throws, the timing has been off. Indiana, again, they're known for sending pressure. Lewerke gets rid of it, and it just seems like that ball, the timing has been off the last few pass plays. not in sync right now is Lewerke with his wide receivers.
You saw Stewart saying he was being held by Tywan Mullen, but to no avail. Long, low punt. Fillier decides to field it at the 5, and here comes a flag against Indiana and Tywan Mullen. Everybody in the stadium was calling for it, and the flag came out.
I think they're going to talk about this, get a block in the back. I thought his technique, putting his arms up, you see Tom Allen, he's telling him, he's put his hands up. He didn't forcibly block him on the crackback block. And a lot of times they teach you, Brandon, to put your arms up and pick the guy.
This is something they are really watching this year in the rule book.
It did not meet the terms of a blindside block. First down.
And there you go. So they pick up the flag.
I tell you, that's the technique that every special teams meeting I was even a part of in the NFL was taught this. Put your hands up to show that you're just trying to pick him. And that's exactly what the freshman does. Nice job by the officials picking that up, because that's not a forcible block on the block back.
A 60-yard punt by Hartbarger, 10 on the return, and Indiana starts inside their own 15. Low snap, and by the time Penix hands it off, Stevie Scott had no chance.
Nice job. You see big Mike Ponashuk and his brother Jacob teaming up there to get in on the action. And
Scott a little slow to get up. He's going to head to the sideline.
The game clock to 1:58.
Stevie Scott, the talented sophomore tailback, but we have seen the other two as well, Ronnie Walker and Samson James. It'll be Walker that replaces him on 2nd and 12.
Yeah, Brandon, you know, the one drive that had the nice run by Stevie Scott, he had 19 on one, 7 on another, but only 30 yards so far in this ball game for the Hoosiers, and they have struggled all season to get going on the ground. They are 12th right now in the Big Ten in yards per game running the football with 120.5. Only above Purdue and Rutgers.
And this is not a good defense to start your run game against.
No, it's not.
Hinder shot to tight end. Caught it, but just has nowhere to roam. Joe Bocci, Tyreek Thompson rallying quickly to the football. Timeout with 1:27 to go in the half.
And he also wants them to force more fumbles. He said they're not forcing enough fumbles, creating takeaways that way. Something to look for this game. See if the Sparty defense can punch the ball out.
3rd down and 9. It's a handoff and a run for Ronnie Walker. Michigan State can take that final timeout here, and they will. So now the 49-year-old Tom Allen hoping that his defense can hold, as they're going to have to punt the ball back to Michigan State.
Yeah, and that right there is all field position. You're saying, do we take the chance with the young quarterback? We're tied up right now, 14-14 on the road. My defense has played pretty well, especially recently. It seems like Lewerke's been out of rhythm with his wideouts. So let's run the football, get a good punt, and hopefully get good enough field position from the defensive standpoint to get into halftime without letting up points.
Sowards is going to call for the fair catch at the 44. So a 38-yard punt. And if you're thinking about Michigan State getting into field goal range, remember Matt Coghlin has struggled in recent memory, including a miss earlier from 43.
Yep.
And Brian Lewerke just 16 rushing yards to 1,000 for his career.
And that's significant because when he does that, at some point in this season, whether it's today or not, he will become the second quarterback in school history to be part of the club that throw for 6,000 and run for 1,000 in a career, joining Drew Stanton. It's another good name to be a part of here in a nice quarterback-rich tradition in Michigan State.
But he won't use his legs, he uses his arms, and what a grab. Cody White, a tough catch.
Cody White going up over top Jalen Williams there. to snag that football. Nicely done.
Second and very short. Get up quickly and hand it off to Ladarius Jefferson, and he'll take it down to the 42.
You look here, Lewerke just trusting his wide receiver to go up and get it. Take it off his helmet.
Every second precious right now. Lewerke just wide of Darrell Stewart. If he could have held on to that, it would have been spectacular, but instead it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Darrell Stewart had a step on the true freshman. That would have been something there if he was able to bring that in. But important to note, Michigan State does not have any timeouts left. They have to be smart on this drive, knowing where they are on the field, getting out of bounds, knowing when you get a first down with the clock stopping in college. Very important to have that situational awareness that you don't have any timeouts left.
Lewerke pressure off the backside. He escapes it, sets his feet, and completes it to Cody White down near the 25. So that puts them in the range of Matt Coghlin.
A nice job by Cody White working for his quarterback. He doesn't give up on the route. He knows the work he had to scramble and breaks off his route to make the catch.
And now Indiana is actually going to burn a timeout as Michigan State tries to get their fans fired up.
37 seconds, 3-7. Thank you.
So they've got 37 seconds to work with, again, no timeouts. And you're at the 26-yard line. So what are you looking to do here if you're the Spartans?
Well, you're looking to take some shots downfield. Your kicker has been struggling. You would like to get closer to secure a little higher percentage for your kicker. But if I'm Michigan State, I'm thinking to myself, with 37 seconds, I'm going to take some shots, either at the end zone or at least knowing routes that will get you past the first down marker so that if you do get a completion in the middle of the field, the clock will stop, enable you to get up to the line and spike the football.
From right here, it would be a 44-yard field goal. Remember, he missed, as you saw on the screen, a 43-yarder earlier. Lewerke, he's not thinking field goal, he's thinking touchdown! Darrell Stewart, his second of the game. .26 yards, and just like that, the Spartans lead.
Hoosiers bring pressure, they play man. Michigan State figures it out. Lewerke finds his favorite receiver on the season, Darrell Stewart, for the touchdown.
Extra point, up and good.
Finds Cody White with an amazing catch, scrambles on a blitz play, able to get outside contained, find White again, and then, as I mentioned, take a shot when you're in that area. Make the Hoosiers pay for setting the pressure. Man coverage, big throw to Darrell Stewart for the touchdown.
First time in Stewart's career that he's had a 2-touchdown game. So we'll see if Indiana tries to do anything here with 28 seconds remaining. Is this one of those where you say, if we get a big chunk on first down, we go for it?
Yeah, I think so. You only got one timeout left in the half, and you see if you can get a chunk play early on, and if not, now whether that's a screen, whether that's a draw, a lot of times as a defender, you say, hey, alert screen draw in this situation for that purpose. But it looks here they're just going to take a knee and go into half.
And indeed, that's what Penix does. Entertaining first half, though. Tom Allen frustrated as he flips down the headset at that last drive by Michigan State to put them in front. Great half for Lewerke. 223 passing yards and the 2 touchdowns to Darrell Stewart. Coghlin boots it deep to David Ellis, and Ellis will elect to bring it out. Just across the 20. Flag comes in late.
Ellis on the return, tackled by Casey
You just said it's been a clean game with few penalties.
Jinxed it.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 5. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First out.
So that's on Juwan Burgess. Indiana then will not start with great field position.
You'll see there, when you put the hands on the back of the opposing team, that's an easy call for the official. You can see it. It's blatant and obvious. You cannot put the hands on the back of the jersey.
Backs him from the 21 to the 11. Stevie Scott swung around and down after a gain of 2 by Mike Panashuk.
That's tough sledding when you try to go against the interior of the Spartan defense. The 34th straight start for both Williams and Panashuk, the 2 D tackles for Michigan State. It's tough to earn a living going inside there against Sparty.
In camp, they dubbed themselves Salt and Pepper. That's their self-proclaimed nickname for those 2. And yeah, you don't want to run it as Salt and Pepper. 2nd and 8, quick throw out to Fillier. And he's able to get the first down out to the 22. Gain of 9.
The 8th time they've gone to Fillier on the outside. And Brandon, that's basically their run game. How do we establish a run without slamming our heads against the wall, trying to run against the interior of that defense, right into the teeth of it? Is you go horizontal. You try to throw it out there, get some blocking by your big wide receivers, and let your smaller guy and Fillier get the run after catch.
He had a career-high 13 catches last year against Michigan State. 8 for 64 right now. Handoff, and Stevie Scott getting the carry. To the 28-yard line, Joe Bocci with a stop.
You look at Joe Bocci close on this football play, and he's put in a dilemma. What they're doing right now, making him walk outside of the box to be close to number 3, the number 3 wide receiver in coverage, and yet be able to come back into the box to play the run. You can tell right now that offensive coordinator, Kalen DeBoer, is trying to put Joe Bocci in that run-pass dilemma by spreading out this Michigan State defense.
2nd and 4 for the Hoosiers. Penix is now 9 for his last 9 throwing the football as he gets a short one off to Stevie Scott. And Scott's able to get it to the 41-yard line for a pickup of 13.
And again, you'll see the hustle by Joe Bocci. And at the end, look at him try to punch the ball out. He plays relentless, and the most important thing is that defensive coordinator Mike Tressel said is he plays within the scheme. Sometimes you get these star defensive players in a 3rd year in the program as a starter, a lot of attention on them. They want to make splash plays. He said that his come playing within the structure of their defense.
And the 14 tackles, the sack, and the interception last week against Northwestern. Here's another short pass to Fillier. So Fillier now 9 catches, and that's good for another Indiana first down.
And they're using the 6'3 Westbrook out there to block. It's just a quick route. They're using Westbrook, gets the block on Josiah Scott. And again, those are the run plays for Indiana's offense right now. And Michigan State has to find a way to take that away, whether it's adjusting the man coverage to have someone attack Fillier out there. They have to find a way to slow it down, because so far it's been too easy just pitch and catch to the outside.
By the way, the sun just came out for the first time today, the first time in about 48 hours. Fillier again, this time a little further downfield, and he gets the edge. And is all the way down near the 23-yard line. He made Xavier Henderson miss. Great play for Fillier.
Yeah, and Xavier Henderson's about 10 yards away when Fillier catches the ball. That's not an easy task for even a guy like Xavier Henderson, who's had a really good start to this season for Michigan State, replacing Kari Willis. I mean, he's the top producing defensive back. That's a tough assignment to try to tackle Watt Fillier in the middle of the field like that with a 10-yard cushion.
25-yard gain, so Indiana 1st and 10 inside the 25. Penix on play action. He's Easy pitch and catch to Nick Westbrook. Down to the 18.
Brandon, if I'm Indiana, you already know that you have points. You're in field goal range. I would take a shot. So far, you've had these Michigan State defenders kind of out of whack on this drive. I would have an attempt to take a shot into the end zone. See if one of your big body wide receivers, whether it's Hale at 6'4" or Westbrook at 6'3", can go up and catch it for you.
Peyton Ramsey started last week at quarterback. He was 23 of 27. And Penix right now, 20 of 24. And another completion. He's 21 of 25 as he finds Ty Freifogel down to the 10. It'll be 1st and goal.
Yeah, and this defense for Michigan State looks tired right now. A lot of quick stuff, sideline to sideline, and what that does, Brandon, it makes them run. All those interior defenders, whether it's the D tackles, whether it's the middle linebacker, they have to run sideline to sideline, get back to the huddle. That wears you out. And how about the job that Matthew Bedford has done as left tackle? No sacks so far by this Hoosier offense. True freshman getting his first start at tackle. So far, holding up pretty well.
Yeah, that's a great point. In for the injured Coy Cronk. Another short one, Stevie Scott dancing around. Pulled down at the 7 by Antoine Simmons.
And the quick passes. You see there. Wonder if that's a little holding on the outside, but I would like to see Indiana take a shot to the end zone. You're down here already. See if your big body receivers can make a play.
It's going to be a handoff to Scott. Nothing doing. Run defense swarms, led by that man, Antoine Simmons.
Antoine Simmons having himself a nice game, just very active, very productive. And I don't love that play call. It's really tough to run inside. You haven't been able to do it all game. I understand trying to keep him honest, but maybe do a little bit of movement pass.
This crowd hoping for a stop. Watch the play clock. Tom Allen's trying to call a timeout, and they're going to grant it to him. He was sprinting down the sideline. He just got the timeout called. Third down for the Hoosiers. Empty backfield as Ellis splits out right. Goes to Fillier. Fillier won't get there. Great tackle by Trey Person.
Brandon, that is an outstanding individual effort. They had a blocker for him. Watch him. Beats Westbrook, hat in hands, gets off. And a nice tackle by Person there. Mike Tressel's fired up. He knows that's a big play.
He's a backup safety to David Dow, just his 6th tackle of the season. That leaves Indiana with a 26-yard field goal attempt for Logan Justice. And Justice converts. So Indiana on that last drive went 81 yards, but they had to settle for 3, James Laurinaitis.
Yeah, and it's a great drive to start the second half, but I don't love the fact that you have 2 big body wide receivers and you didn't throw one jump ball to them. Give them an opportunity to go make a play for your quarterback.
Darrell Stewart's going to try to make a play, but he'll only get it out to the 27. Now Michigan State's offense being led out by Brian Lewerke, who had that great first half. First 14 passes good, next 8 not so good, and then he finished the half strong.
Yeah, and early on it seemed like he kept going to his tight ends over and over, and then he gets to the wide receivers later on. But so far in that last drive before the half, he was very impressive, kept plays alive with his feet as well. See if he can orchestrate a drive, his first effort in the second half.
And They were over there a long time. They don't get the ball until 8:17 on the clock. They get to Collins. Collins with a big hole out across the 45. American Family Insurance Studio update. Here's Rick Pizzo. Well on their way to another victory, continuing their undefeated streak to start the season for Minnesota. Collins up the middle to the 50.
That was a nice tackle by Raekwon Jones. If he doesn't make that, Collins might still be running. Nice job following the polders there. Michigan State running a counter play, and Raekwon Jones, who was Indiana's leading tackler coming in, making the sure tackle there.
We've talked a lot about the lack of running plays in this game that have been successful. 70 rush yards for Michigan State, 39 for Indiana. On the ground again with Collins. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 3.
You have to wonder here. You have to wonder here, Brandon. They're in 12 personnel. That means 1 back, 2 tight ends. Do you try to run the football again? Do you try to get it to? Is this a 4-down situation where you feel like if we can get a couple yards, we'll just go for a sneak on a 4th and 1?
Lewerke keeps it, but he flips it to White, but he threw it behind him. And a flag comes down at the end of this.
That's going to be an illegal shift. You can't have 2 people moving on offense at the same side, and the miscommunication there by the Michigan State offense.
Illegal shift. Offense, 2-minute motion, did not reset. Penalties declined. Brings up 4th down.
See Tom Allen saying, yes, emphatically, we want to decline this. So on 4th and 3, Indiana's going to get the football back.
Yeah, and they're leaving their punt safe unit out there. You can see the defense is on the field with Fillier back to receive. They're not taking any chances with the fake.
Fillier's going to let it hit. Slips into the end zone. Indiana down 21-17. 6:28 to go in the 3rd as they hand it off to Stevie Scott, and he just gets tripped up. Out to the 32, but he was hoping for a whole lot more.
Yeah, if not for Xavier Henderson getting his arm out, tripping up Stevie Scott. I'm not sure if he's going to the house, but it's a bigger chunk gain, and look at the effort there by Henderson. There's been a couple runs that have popped through on this Sparty defense today. They don't have a ton overall rushing yards, but there's been a couple to keep that defense honest.
11 carries, 46 yards for Stevie Scott after his longest run of the season. Upended quickly, Nick Westbrook. Xavier Henderson, there he is again.
And Xavier Henderson shows up on film when you watch. He's a really good tackler, and we asked Mike Tressel about him. And he said that for a second-year player, he has a really high IQ. And again, he's replacing Kari Willis, who is a starter for the Colts. A really productive safety here at Michigan State.
Meanwhile, for Michael Penix, I know a lot of the passes have been short, but he has completed 16 straight. Wap Fillier in motion. And they give it to Fillier. Little shake and bake, and then he's hammered down at the 40 by Kenny Willekes.
Yeah, Indiana was trying to hide Wap that time in the bunch and run the reverse out of him, and he takes a shot at the end. Big Kenny Willekes with the pursuit.
And the flex. But Fillier pops up okay, and now a big 3rd and 1 here. Stevie Scott, no problem. Straight ahead.
Scott, the ball carrier, the 47-yard line.
6-yard gain. I wasn't expecting them to get it that easily rushing against this Michigan State defense.
No, and they run a play that's called split zone. They have the tight end off, and he comes back to block the defensive end, and great push by the offensive line of Indiana. Very rarely do you say that when you're talking about Michigan State's defense, but they were able to get the push and the seams for the big first down run.
Stevie Scott goes off. Ronnie Walker behind Penix. Penix off the play fake, going deep, and he's got Donovan Hale. So make that 17 straight completions for the redshirt freshman Michael Penix.
And that's exactly what offensive coordinator Kalen DeBoer told us. He said his ability to flick the wrist and get a ball out deep fast, that is a tough throw. That's from the left hash to the bottom of the numbers on the opposite side of the field, and he does it effortlessly. You can tell that's why you decide to start the young man, because of that kind of arm talent to get the ball downfield.
Now in Michigan State territory from the 35. Late handoff, and Ronnie Walker is swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage by Drew Beasley and a couple of other green jerseys.
Well, so far, Brandon, they haven't pulled the football in that read. They've run that zone read about 4 or 5 times. Penix hasn't taken the ball yet and run it himself. You wonder if that's a situation later on in this football game he finally decides to pull it, because he had the corner there.
Pressure, quick throw over the middle to Wap Fillier. And Fillier's got the Indiana first down, and he's finally taken down to the ground. That's not a fumble. Play was whistled dead.
The 12th reception in the game already for Wap Fillier. A nice job by Penix to recognize the blitz and realize that his talented wide receiver was working on a linebacker in Tyreek Thompson. And that's a mismatch. You do even a zone pressure. Nice job and great recognition. I've been really impressed with how fast the decision-making has been for Michael Penix.
12 for 112 for Wap Fillier. Yep, Penix still doing his thing, as you said. Here's another completion out to David Ellis. Indiana goes into the red zone.
And Brandon, with everything lateral so far, the quick throws to the perimeter, you have to wonder if a double move is coming at some point in this football game. You've been showing it nonstop, now routes, quick slants. Will he do a pump and a go on one of these plays throughout the rest of this football game?
One more completion to make it 20 straight for Michael Penix. Hands it off. Stevie Scott. No gain. 3rd and 3. Remember last time Indiana went 81 yards down the field, had to settle for a field goal, and that Michigan State defense trying to stop them again. Battle for the old brass spittoon, and it has been a good one to this point. Little toss out to Scott. Scott dives and gets the first down. When he first caught the toss, I didn't know he was going to get there, but he did.
And a nice job, because safety David Dowell had an opportunity at him. And Scott does a nice job stuttering his feet and getting the first down.
Kalen DeBoer on the right side of your screen there. Last 2 years, offensive coordinator at Fresno State. And now in Bloomington with the Hoosiers. Penix, 20 straight completions as he gets this one to Ty Freifogel. But it's only for 1 yard. That might be the final play of the quarter. Tom Allen saying, I love it.
This is big. That's why you go to the fourth quarter. These games have been tight with the exception of last year. These games have been tight between these two schools coming down to situational football. He's telling his team with a freshman quarterback, you say, hey, we're on the road in the Big Ten. In the fourth quarter, we got a chance.
Total yards that quarter, Indiana 149, Michigan State 26. Dominated by the Hoosiers.
Indiana, the time of possession in the quarter was basically 13 minutes to 2 for Michigan State. And the ability, again, to throw the ball horizontally, make that your running game. That's going to set up a shot sooner or later in this ball game.
2nd and 9 to start the quarter from inside the 15. Penix going for the end zone. Incomplete. Ty Freifogel out of bounds, and that snaps the streak for Penix of 20 straight completions.
Freifogel caught it, just was not able to get a foot down inbounds. See that left foot, the toes on the white. And the red cleats helping out the official. You see that.
But still, the ball didn't hit the ground. Just not complete for Penix. He continues his hot streak, now 3rd and 9. Oh, high snap, Penix takes it, goes across the field, and it is caught. Donovan Hale with one hand. What a grab, and Indiana leads it early in the fourth quarter.
I mentioned that on the last trip down to the red zone. Take a shot with your big body receivers, and this is a BTN standout. The one-hand catch over Josiah Scott, who just a week ago was part of Pro Football Focus's Big Ten team, the all Big Ten team of the week that they do. Well, that time, the big body Hale, 6'4", 218, throw it up to the big fella.
Well, you said it. BTN standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Yeah, you can flex after a catch like that. I'll allow it. Logan Justice, the left footer. 24-21. He's only thrown one pass in the last 60 minutes of real time. You wonder if he's cold.
Well, I'm sure he is. And look, he's probably throwing the ball on the sidelines, doing those things. But we talk about just the timing. That is hard to get back in a football game when you've only thrown a pass once in the last hour. You got to get the rhythm. You got to get your feet, all that, those things that you build throughout a game. We'll see right here on this drive if you can get some of that timing back.
14 of 27 so far. Going to the air here for his 15th completion if White stayed in bounds, and he did. That's two pretty impressive catches for the junior Cody White.
Yeah, and Lewerke trusting his big-time wide receiver to, we'll see if that gets reviewed. Wonder if any part of his body came down inbounds here. As they review every play, we'll see if they'll take this time to take another look at it.
And indeed they will.
The ruling on the field on the previous play was a completed pass. The play is under further review.
First time today that we get to welcome in our friend from Chicago, Dick Honig. And partner, as we get another look at this play, it's going to be close. What do you think?
Very close. Is that toe touch? That's the question. Right there, that right toe. That's the key. Otherwise, it's an incompleted pass. And I didn't see any of the turf come up or move, so I wonder if it did touch or not. But that's what they've got to determine.
And Dick, do you see the ball moving at all as he hits the ground?
I didn't see that, but I wasn't actually looking for that, to be honest with you. And I don't see it there. The official blocks us out right now. Let's get another look.
And again, watch that right toe. Gosh, it's so hard to tell. It's one of those situations where he may have grazed the top of the grass blades, but you don't know. And remember, it's ruled a catch on the field.
Going to be very hard to overturn this. I think this may end up being a stands.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Dick, it's one of those, right, where if it had been called incomplete, they probably would have kept it incomplete, correct?
Correct.
right, we'll wait and see. They're going to take every look at this that they can, and we're trying to give you every look that we have. Jalen Williams was pleading right away. The defender, incomplete.
Well, one of the giveaways is the guy writing down information. Is the notepad out by the officials to take the down and distance, where the ball was spotted, if it is called incomplete, if they overturn it. Those are all the little details. And from up here, it looks like they're taking some notes on the notepad.
Yeah, and you see that Mark D'Antonio picked up on that clue, and he was trying to plead his case. Tom Allen, who in his tenure at Indiana, 0 for 11 against ranked opponents. He's trying to stem that tide here this afternoon. So yeah, they're getting all the information written down. Indiana, they are loose. I mean, they've been loose all afternoon.
That energy, that enthusiasm, it's all a reflection of their head coach. You see it in warm-ups, how much energy and juice he brings to his team, and his players are reflecting that right now.
After review, the first body part down was his hand that was out of bounds. That makes it an incomplete pass. It brings up 2nd down and 10. Please reset the game clock to 14:47. The ball will be on the 25-yard line, 2nd and 10.
One more look. You can't get any closer than that.
Well, right there, that's where they're saying that his hand is the first to touch. They did not think that toe hit any blade of grass, and with it being ruled a catch on the field, I thought that was really close, but they overturned it.
So on 2nd and 10, some pressure is brought, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Matt Seibert. But DeMarcus Elliott put Lewerke on his back right as he threw it.
Yeah, Lewerke trying to get the play fake and the ball out quickly, and Seibert, even though the ball was behind him, you're expected to make that catch. And it's going to bring up a big 3rd and 10.
And that's not the body you want falling on top of you. The biggest guy on their defense, DeMarcus Elliott, at 328 pounds. So on 3rd and 10, Lewerke fires it incomplete. Tried to fit it in the tight window for Darrell Stewart. But 4th down and a punt forthcoming.
Yeah, and guess who? Taiwan Mullen again, the true freshman, who has been tested over and over by Michigan State. Has really good coverage on Darrell Stewart and does a nice job waiting until the ball gets there and then bringing his left arm through to rake the hands of Darrell Stewart.
And all the people to be covering Darrell Stewart, who he's been blanketed on this whole game. Excellent job by the freshman. Hartbarger boots it to Whop Fillier. Fillier searching for space. Hurdley, 30, 35, cuts it out. Whop Fillier with some speed. Cuts it back from Hartbarger. A flag comes down as Fillier is taken to the ground around the 30. And he pounds his chest, but let's see what the laundry is about. For the moment, it's a 55-yard punt with a 50-yard return.
And you can see, Brandon, the explosive playmaking ability of Whop Fillier. When you get him in the open field, his ability to stop and start is extremely impressive.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the receiving team. Holding receiving team number 22 during the return. That penalty's declined. Holding receiving team number 21. That was during the kick. That's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. It'll be 1st down, Indiana.
So on Indiana, a 10-yard penalty after that electric return of 50 yards by Whop Fillier. So let's see where this first hold comes from. That That was on Jamar Johnson, and then they also got another one on Noah Pierre, number 21.
And those are tough. Those are deflating. You get a big return like that. As you see, yeah, he takes Dowd to the ground, and those are deflating. You see where the ball would have been in field position and plus territory. Now you're starting all the way back on your own 11. It's a big shift in field position.
Is it ever? That penalty cost Indiana 59 yards. And now Stevie Scott with a short carry as we go back to Chicago and Rick Pizzo for an American Family Insurance Studio update. Intriguing one there outside of the conference, and a very intriguing one here inside the Big Ten. Penix throwing a beautiful ball downfield just beyond the outstretched arms of Whop Philyor. If he catches it, he's gone.
They had it, Brandon. They had Whop Philyor one-on-one with David Dowd, the safety. And that's a matchup that you want. Your best, most explosive wide receiver on a safety. And he had a 3 or 4 yard cushion there at least. And Penix just overshoots him.
Third and 8. Indiana 5 of 10 on third downs today. Penix scrambling, and down he goes. Big Raequan Williams laying the lumber, and the Hoosiers will punt it. First sack of the game for the Michigan State defense.
You see here, Penix tried to throw just a swing route, but it was covered by Michigan State. The defender peeled. He tries to scramble, and Raequan Williams finishes it off. And this game's a game of inches. Talk about the missed deep throw by Penix. The 2 penalties on the return. Now you're punting.
Whitehead punted it from his end zone. And Sowards is going to return it. Into plus territory and then some for Brandon Sowards down to the 30. My, how quickly the script has been flipped in this ball game.
And this is a moment now for Indiana's defense. You need some mental toughness. As the flag, looks like there's a flag on the field. The officials are discussing it.
That's back around the line of scrimmage at the 4.
Illegal formation, kicking team, more than 4 people in the backfield. That 5-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the play. First down, Michigan State.
So a 46-yard punt, a 22-yard return, and then 5 more yards tacked onto it. And a Spartan Stadium that was deflated just a few moments ago is now very much alive.
You wonder if the spark by the punt return can get this offense for Michigan State going. And for Indiana, you have to be mentally tough. This is almost like a turnover where you get the ball deep in your territory.
Lewerke throws it out wide inside the 15 and down to the 10 goes Elijah Collins. So the running back turning wide receiver on that play.
Yeah, and Collins gets the ball in his hands quickly and makes Micah McFadden miss. Just lowers his shoulder on Marcelino Ball. Already it seems like that return gave this offense a little spark. We'll see if they can finish this drive off in the end zone.
First completion of the half for Lewerke, 16 yards, sets him up first and goal. Lewerke again for the end zone, caught! Touchdown, Matt Seibert, who had 2 last week against Northwestern. He's got another one here.
here. It's just a little hitch and go by Seibert. Really well executed. He fooled Bryant Fitzgerald. He thought it was going to be an out route, just a stick. It was a stick and go.
And Coghlin converts the point after.
Special teams brings it all the way back. And then on their own punt, they get a penalty that adds on to the big return by Michigan State.
And a short kick taken right around the 15. So Bryant Fitzgerald, who rarely gets an opportunity to return it. Now Indiana will try to answer with 12:08 to go in the fourth. Big Ten coaches, they're on the same team today to raise awareness of Duchenne muscular dystrophy, a lethal genetic killer of young men. It's called Coach to Cure MD. Fans can support the cause. Text the word CURE to 501-501 to give $25, or you can also visit CoachToCureMD.org. The spotlight back on the redshirt freshman quarterback, Michael Penix. Gives it to Stevie Scott. Scott to the 31, a pickup of 4.
Yeah, and Scott at 231 pounds, you can tell the physicality he runs with. He's a tough tackle, and if you get down around his legs, he's going to try to drag defenders.
16 carries for 62 yards. He had 21 for 97 last week in the win over Connecticut. Toss out to Scott this time. Try to get him outside the tackles. And Indiana's going to have a 3rd and 2 coming. So now what does Tom Allen go to?
If I'm Tom Allen, I'm trying to get my quarterback on the move a little bit. Give him a run-pass option. If the pass isn't there, let him use his legs to go downhill and pick up a first down.
Penix hands it. Scott tackled right at the line of scrimmage by Joe Bocci. The senior leader of this defense steps up again.
And Joe Bocci just senses where the hole is. Stacks his impressive D tackles, chooses a gap, and makes the nice tackle. And you can't think you're going to go 3 plays in a row against this Spartan defense running the football and get a first down. I would like to see them at least get their young quarterback on the move, able to throw it quick to the flat or else take off and use his legs. That time, Michigan State's defense holds up.
We've really only seen Penix run it that one time for the 2-yard touchdown score. Hayden Whitehead gets it away. Sowers, this one goes over his head, but it will not check up. A little too much on the 65-yard boot from Hayden Whitehead. State winning 9 of the last 10. Indiana winning in 2016. But now Michigan State, they have the momentum back, the football back, and Elijah Collins takes it to the 25 for a pickup of 5.
We'll see so far, time of possession has been about 30 minutes for Indiana, about 17 and a half for Michigan State. Can they milk some of this clock off here?
Trying to with another run. Nothing that time for Collins. Tywan Mullen in on the stop. Mark D'Antonio got his 110th win last week, passing Duffy Doherty for the all-time wins leader in Michigan State football history. And Tom Allen looking for his first win over a ranked opponent.
This is a big 3rd and 5. Does Tom Allen bring pressure here? Whenever they align Micah McFadden over the center, it usually means they have a 5-man game going to get one-on-one blocks.
Lewerke, quick throw, first down. There you go, to C.J. Hayes. Elise, what's it like down there on the sideline?
Oh, Oh, Brandon, it is electric. You know, after that Seibert touchdown, I saw Brad Salem jumping up and down when Seibert got to the sideline. They all huddled around him. You know, Lewerke came over, had some words for him, refocused everyone. But I tell you, the energy that I saw from Indiana after the Hale touchdown has completely transferred to the Michigan State sideline.
Both teams at 3-1. To the outside here. And this play will stop at the 36, a pickup of 3.
And what's been impressive about Brian Lewerke is the fact that he has now 10 touchdowns on the season and only 1 interception. He's taking care of the football. He's going to his talented wide receivers in White and Stewart, and he's really done a nice job. Uses his legs when he has to. A couple years ago, he used his legs a ton, and as he's developed last year, obviously with the injuries, it was a rough season for him, but it looks like he's back to form, making smart decisions.
He's got that shoulder healthy. It's starting to show, and here he says, hey, remember I can run it too. A first down pickup for Brian Lewerke as he gets closer to 1,000 yards for his career.
Well, over and over, when you give it all game long, sometimes you can lull that defense to sleep. Makes the right decision to pull the football there, pick up the first down, and with each first down, that's going to make that clock continue to run.
Only 8 away from 1,000 now for Lewerke. And you're right, James, that clock moving. Drop out wide by Cody White. Man, he had him, and White had a lot of room in front of him.
Yeah, if he just leads White here, he could still be going down the sideline. They have a nice play call, and you can tell they schemed that up. But you expect Cody White to make that catch. It wasn't perfect ball placement by any means, but with a guy who's as talented as Cody White and has had the career that Cody White has had, you expect him to come down with that football.
Instead, it's 2nd and 10, little option. Lewerke keeps, but for a very short gain. 3rd and 8, tackled by Marcelino Ball, who was waiting for the option pitch.
Yes, he was, and last time on 3rd down, they went with the 5-man pressure, trying to manufacture a one-on-ones with the offensive lineman. That sometimes tells what you're in coverage-wise when you're able to empty the backfield like Michigan State did. Let's see what Mr. Womack decides to do now, the defensive coordinator for Indiana.
He's got Michigan State with a 3rd and 8. Lewerke with a clean pocket, but nowhere to throw it. Flag comes in as Lewerke is taken down and the football's loose. Indiana recovers it. We have not had a turnover in this game, but that just changed if this stands. Our referee, Mike Cannon, with a very important call right here. Let's see what it is.
During the run, holding, defense, number 3. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot that results in a first down.
So cross out the turnover. There's still no turnovers in this game, and Michigan State keeps it.
Well, you'll see here the true freshman Mullen working on Stewart. It's an obvious tug on the jersey. And again, he's still reaching out for him. And this is testing the defense's mental toughness right now for Indiana. You get a big turnover, what you think? Can you hold up here now? And maybe Michigan State takes some more time off the clock.
Inside give to Collins. Well, you've said it, though. The IU penalties this quarter, that is the difference right now in this ball game.
And you think you have a turnover yourself, and then when that play happens and it gives them a new set of downs, we used to call it watch this situation, watch us rise up, watch us capture back momentum as a defense, but those are tough to overcome in the middle of a ball game, middle of a drive in the fourth quarter.
Stewart in motion. Lewerke will keep it, and Lewerke is up over 1,000 rushing yards for his career as he takes it to the 30. Just the second ever Michigan State quarterback to have 6,000 passing and 1,000 rushing as he joins Drew Stanton in elite company.
And great vision. He cuts out the backside of the play. The play was designed to go to the right with the puller to either give it to Stewart or else take it himself to the right, but a big hole opens up to the left. And great vision by Lewerke.
He's not worried about the 6,000, 1,000 club. He just wants to get a win right now. Defers to Collins. And Collins is upended at the 26, gain of 4.
And again, Brandon, that clock continues to just tick down. Able to run the football, and this is a staple of Mark D'Antonio is going to do down the stretch. You see on this current drive, 8 rushes, 2 passes, over 5:30 already on the clock, eaten up.
Indiana with 2 timeouts. You think back to the timeout they took to start the third quarter before a play was ever even snapped. Lewerke keeps, nothing doing. Stopped by Khalil Bryant, 3rd down and 6. From here, it would be a 44-yard field goal. Empty backfield, Lewerke with pressure. Underthrows Cody White. Had him in the middle of the field. White dejected, and Michigan State's going to try for a field goal.
Yeah, Brandon, Kane Womack brought Bryant Fitzgerald from the right side of your screen, and maybe he sensed he was going to get hit there because he had Cody White wide open in the zone. Those zone pressures, it was not a man pressure.
So Coghlin, who missed from 43 earlier and has missed 5 of his last 6 field goal attempts, tries a big one here from 44. On the way, and this one is true. The junior delivers to put Michigan State up 7. As we get down to the nitty-gritty in East Lansing. All right, Dave, thank you very much. 3:33 to go. Michigan State with a 31-24 lead as we take a look at the All-State Mayhem moment. The defense the last 2 drives has stepped up.
Yeah, when you're in a tight ball game, you got to depend on your seniors on defense. Raekwon Williams with a big sack, and then Joe Bacci with a nice tackle. And in these tight ball games, the rivalry games, they know what they're playing for. It's all about your seniors stepping up and making the plays you need them to make.
This half, Indiana had 10 straight points to start it, take the lead, and then Michigan State has scored the last 10 points. David Ellis swung down around the 21-yard line. Who else? Joe Bacci. So we'll see if that Indiana offense can get back to its earlier rhythm. Their quarterback, Michael Penix, 29 of 35 for 269 yards.
And Brandon, you have 2 timeouts, and the clock will stop on first downs. You have to think, will Indiana go back to the quick passing game? You got Whop Phillier in the slot at the bottom of your screen. See if they'll go quick passes to him before taking some shots downfield.
Off the play fake. He's going downfield. And it's dropped by Nick Westbrook. Kalen Gervin in coverage, but that hit Westbrook's hands. He just couldn't haul it in.
And the perfect throw by Michael Penix right on the hands of Westbrook. And they've been going short so much, that time decides to take a shot. A beautifully placed ball. Nick Westbrook, the fifth-year senior, has to come up with that for the freshman quarterback.
And that's one he usually does come up with. 2nd and 10. Penix back to the air. Spartans rush 4. Another deep shot and another incompletion. No flag. Yes, a flag late. Oh, it came in late. The crowd boos. It's going to be on Josiah Scott.
Yeah, and it looked like Josiah never looked back for the football.
Pass interference. Defense, number 22. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Now in college football, you're allowed to face guard, but you cannot make contact downfield. And look there that he prohibited Hale from coming back to this football. The only question I would have is it catchable? But it looks like it even hits the hand of Hale there, which made the official throw the flag.
So Josiah Scott, who had a great game against Northwestern, with a penalty there. Now another flag comes in here pre-snap. It's going to be a false start on Indiana.
False start, offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's the 2nd flag against Caleb Jones.
And lately, Brandon, a lot of penalties for Indiana, whether on special teams. 4 penalties this quarter, 8 overall.
Now backs him up to 1st and 15. Flags coming in again, this time on the defense. So Penix with a free play, but it's incomplete. And another flag on the back end. And once again, it's Scott defending Donovan Hale. Yes, the drama is getting good in East Lansing.
And they keep going after Scott. That's who Hale got the touchdown reception on earlier in this football game. The pass interference earlier on this drive. And it seems like when they're going to take a shot, Michael Penix likes to go towards Donovan Hale against Josiah Scott.
You saw Mark D'Antonio's reaction after he looked up and saw the replay on the big screen.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the defense. Offside, defense number 48. Penalties decline. Pass interference, defense number 22. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So 2 penalties on Josiah Scott defending Hale.
Well, the first one is both Panashuk and Willikis are in the neutral zone. And here, Scott had the jersey tugging on it as the ball was thrown, but
approaching 3 minutes left. Another deep shot. This for failure, but a little too much mustard. And all the dink and dunk earlier, now Indiana's just chucking it downfield.
well, again, this is where offensive coordinator Kalen DeBoer thought that they could win. They thought that they had a chance with their big body wide receivers downfield. They knew it was going to be tough sledding running the football. 269 yards through the air for Penix, and they've tried to take shots on this drive. They still have plenty of time, 3 minutes and 3 seconds, 2 timeouts. You got your whole offense available to you still.
Michigan State bringing some pressure. Penix way too far for failure. 3rd down and 10.
Well, Mike Tressel dials up pressure here. They do a little stunt, bringing Joe Bocci, which freed up Naquan Jones and at least forced Penix to scramble. You see Jacob Panashuk keeping contained, and you don't have to get a first down here. This is 2 more plays. This is 4 down territory for Indiana. You wonder if they do something quick to try to make it a 4th and short.
Well, Penix was ready for the snap. Now he steps up to the line. Here we go. Spartans rush 4. Gets it out wide, complete, and a first down by Donovan Hale. Was able to escape the would-be tackler Coghlin Gervin to pick up the first.
Yeah, and if Gervin makes the tackle, it's going to be a 4th and short. Instead, the big body Hale able to shrug him off and pick up the first down. And Donovan Hale having a nice game.
6 catches for 93 yards. A nice game indeed for the senior from Largo, Florida. Over the middle, Fillier, wide open. Draped down at the 22 by David Dowell. Indiana's in business.
And I have been so impressed with Michael Penix and his ability to hang in the pocket and deliver throws. When you see him and you see his athleticism, you think, you know, he's a dual threat QB. No, this kid has stayed in the pocket and delivered time and again. Ball's quick in the outside, over the middle, and deep passes. He's been impressive.
Timeout here by Michigan State.
Timeout, Michigan State. They're first. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Saw David Dowell and that defense sucking wind a little bit. Mark D'Antonio's going to call the timeout as we take a look at the SoFi academic ambitions, and the spotlight is being shined on David Dowell, 3-time academic All-Big Ten performer. And he and this defense, they need to step up right now. Penix throwing deep for the end zone in the direction of Westbrook. Flag back at the line of scrimmage. And this might be roughing the passer. Raequan Williams got in there a little late.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 96. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Not Williams, but Jacob Panashuk.
But you cannot have penalties. Look at him come around late. And he puts the shoulder into the middle of the back of Michael Penix. And you just got to know in that situation. I know how frustrating it is. You see Tom Allen's fired up. He knows that he's gotten help with a couple penalties from the Spartan defense at critical downs here.
Yeah, you're right, James. 3 defensive penalties on this drive alone. Penix going for the end zone again for Fillier, and Whop Fillier hauls it in. With 2 minutes to go, Indiana's an extra point away from tying this thing up at 31.
Well, Brandon, we mentioned Whop Fillier was going to be a focal point of this offense. That's his 17th target of the game. They have gone after him time and again. Michael Penix, again, with a perfect placement of the football to his wide receivers. And Whop Fillier having a day.
Whop Fillier, 14 catches, 142 yards, and 2 big touchdowns. None bigger than that. Tom Allen knows it. What a dandy in East Lansing.
Focal point, and he must love playing against Michigan State because he tends to produce against the Spartans.
Man, career high 13 catches against them last year, and now he betters that with 14 today, does Whop Fillier. And the schedule does not get easier. Hotels.com upcoming road schedule for Mark D'Antonio and Michigan State. Look what's coming up: Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Penn State.
Not easy sledding for Michigan State going forward, but I tell you what, right now, you're worried about the Indiana Hoosiers because you're at your place, you're tied up late in this football game, and you have an opportunity with your senior quarterback and 2 minutes left, 2 timeouts. Can you get in field goal range and give Coghlin a chance?
Coghlin hit from 44 earlier in this quarter. Lewerke starting the drive with a lofted pass for Stewart, and Stewart brings it in with 2 hands at the Indiana 30. A I thought Lewerke was going to tuck it and run it, but he had a better idea.
Well, you're right. Indiana lost contain. It gave Lewerke the corner to find time to make this throw and trust your senior receiver, Darrell Stewart, coming up with the big catch.
A 44-yard big catch. And now a timeout taken.
Off the clock. You want to get closer to make it a closer field goal, but now your tempo could change.
Empty backfield, Stewart in motion. Lewerke keeps. Lewerke with space. Lewerke cuts it outside. 10, 5, dives, and he's taken down at the 1. A touchdown-saving tackle by Marcelino Ball.
Brian Lewerke showing his athleticism, and again, the vision, which is so impressive, cuts back twice. Marcelino Ball saves a touchdown, but you have to wonder if it would have been better if Lewerke had just scored. If you're Indiana, you would have gotten the ball back with time on the clock.
Yeah, this is probably the ideal situation for the Spartans right now.
If you're Tom Allen, you have to wonder, do you let them score? If they run a football play, do you just let them score to get the ball back with some time on the clock?
And Mark D'Antonio lets the
Charge
clock wind
timeout.
all the way down.
Michigan State, their second. This will be a 30-second timeout.
And a 30-second timeout, 1 remaining.
And that's hard. If you haven't talked about that situation, an explosive run like that, I'm not saying Marcelino Ball did the wrong thing. Look, you're a competitor. You're trying to keep him out of the end zone. But now that they're at the 1-yard line, you see here, look at the vision by Lewerke. His ability to cut back twice. They may have gotten away with a block in the back by Cody White, but now the ball's in the 1. If Michigan State lines up in a play, do they let him walk into the end zone? And does Michigan State decide to take a knee and just kick a field goal? Indiana only has 1 timeout left. They can only stop that clock once, so if I'm Mark D'Antonio, I'm taking a knee. And you say, listen, Coghlin, you got to make a kick. We're at the 1-yard line. Right now, this is closer. With a knee, it'll be an extra point.
Yeah, this has turned into the ultimate cat and mouse game because Lewerke was tackled at the 1-yard line. Let's see how these two sides play it with 1:03 to go.
I wonder if they're just going to try to run the ball to the right to get to the middle of the field.
That's what Lewerke's going to do. It didn't look like Indiana's defense had any interest in stopping him either.
Nope. You can sense almost the nervousness in the crowd right now because they know they're going to put the game on Coghlin. But listen, this kid has been extremely impressive in the past. He's 1 for 2 today. You have to have faith in your kicker. This is an extra point.
Indiana takes their final timeout. Yeah, Coghlin had the streak of 4 straight misses. He missed earlier, but at the end of the day, it's a kid who was a first-team All-Big Ten kicker a season ago. And like you said, it's a chip shot.
And you're right. You could tell by the effort that Indiana gave off the line of scrimmage, they were going to let them score. That was going to be the philosophy by them. And we see Coghlin today. He missed this one, his first attempt, just wide left. And Mark D'Antonio gave him a chance. Said, you know what, go out here for a 44-yarder. And he puts this one down the middle. So this one is much closer. I expect them to take a knee here. Again, let this thing bleed all the way down. And you have 1 timeout left if you're Michigan State to make sure there's no time left on the clock.
So Lewerke just pushes forward to get it a little closer. And now we watch the clock wind. And it's all going to rest on the right foot of the junior Matt Coghlin. But they got the football where they wanted, right in between the hashes for a chip shot attempt.
Yeah, they'll do it one more time. 10 seconds on the play clock. You got to get one more snap out. Heck, let it run down to 1 second, then call your last time out.
So Lewerke was about to take the snap and then the timeout.
Third and final timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Yeah, I'm with you, James. Why not just go ahead and run the next play and then take the timeout?
Well, it looked like Lewerke was walking over to the sidelines and then realized, oh, wait, we are going to have to run one more snap. and they didn't have any choice but to take a timeout there. You didn't want to take a delay of game. You got it to the center of the field there to have a close extra point. If you take the delay of game, it moves it back. Now, I'm not saying it's a very difficult kick, but regardless, it seemed like Lewerke and the coaching staff wasn't on the same page there, because ultimately you would like this to be at 1 second.
Yep.
Because now you kick it, now you never know what can happen with the return. Because Indiana's going to have a chance to get the ball back no matter what happens.
That's the point we're trying to make. There will be one more play after this field goal, made or missed. A 21-yarder from straight on for Matt Coghlin to try to win it for the Spartans. And he got it right down the middle. Michigan State leads, but wait, there's a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and this is going to be on Indiana. I think you saw the defender try to leap over the snapper, which you can't do. Michigan State fans remember that with Arizona State game, how Dean Blandino had came out and said there should have been a penalty on Arizona State leaping over the snapper. You're not allowed to do so. And that's what they're discussing right now. I saw a Hoosier defender jump over and then the flag come out.
Personal foul, leverage, defense, number 87. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The result of the field goal is good.
Good call by you. It's on Ziemba, and that doesn't help out Indiana's chances on the kickoff with 5 seconds left.
Well, you'll see Ziemba jump over the middle, which doesn't matter. You can't use the offensive lineman to help use leverage, as the official said. That call was missed against Arizona State. They got it this time, and Mark D'Antonio relieved. And that penalty does hurt, because on the kickoff now, you're going to be allowed to squib it. And that squib will be picked up around the goal line, where if it had been a normal kick, maybe your squib's picked up around the 25 or so. But regardless, it's going to take a miraculous play by Indiana to find a way to pull this one out.
And it has to feel good for Matt Coghlin. You mentioned the debacle at the end of the Arizona State game. The make, but then the penalty, and then he missed it badly, but he hits the potential game winner there from 21 yards out.
It should have been a penalty on that miss. And Dean Blandino said that on air. And look, that doesn't make anybody feel better, right? That's not going to make Coghlin feel better. He knows the way it is in football. As a kicker, you're expected to make them all the time. And he's been a dang good kicker last season. And it's got to feel good for him to have the 2 makes today. But knowing the kind of football player he is, he's going to have perfection every time he goes out on the football field.
And as you just mentioned, with that penalty on Tom Allen's crew, Coghlin will tee this up at midfield at the 50. With David Ellis back.
And I would expect a squib. You want to have Indiana pick this football up. You don't want to have them to give a chance to fair catch it or to even have an offensive play.
Instead, he's just going to kick it deep. So through the back of the end zone, I thought they might squib it too, and Indiana will have one final shot. And this is where all bets are off.
I would have thought you'd rather have the returner get the football, eat up some clock. Maybe he runs around for 5 seconds and the game's over. You're giving the offense a chance. And still, you're going to need some kind of miracle play if you're Indiana, but we'll see what they come up with here.
Get ready for a lot of laterals. We know that Michael Penix can throw the football deep, and that Spartan defense in extreme prevent here. 5 seconds to go. Penix throws it short. There's the first lateral to Westbrook. Back to Penix, and then he's taken down. He flips the football loose, and Michigan State is going to put an exclamation point on this victory with a touchdown by Michael Dow. And for Indiana, more heartache against top 25 opponents. They came close, but to no avail. And the old brass spittoon, once again, belongs in the hands of Michigan State. Coghlin's 21-yarder was ultimately the difference, that last play notwithstanding.
And you'll see here they try to run some form of hook and lateral. And once Westbrook goes back to Penix, he doesn't have anyone to lateral to. He's trying just to get rid of it because he knows if he's tackled, game's over. The late touchdown by the Spartan defense will make the score look bigger than what this game was. This was a heck of a football game, and if you're Indiana, you're going to wonder what if with penalties late in this football game. But you have to give Michigan State credit. Their seniors stepped up and made big plays. Raekwon Williams, Joe Bocci on defense, and then Lewerke to Stewart on that last drive. Big plays by their seniors.
And not that it would have resulted in a touchdown, but I'm not sure where Indiana was going there on that last play. Trying to get it back to Penix, but Panashuk with the tackle, picking it up in the end zone down, and that's how we get the 40-31 final. What an exciting fourth quarter, though. We had 33 combined points in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, and if you're Mike Tressel, you're going to go back and you're going to look at this game and have a lot of things to correct. Neither team was able to run the football really well, but Indiana was able to expose some things on the outside with the big body wide receivers that Indiana has. They were able to make some plays against this Spartan defense.
Elise is with Mark D'Antonio.
Coach, your offense, defense came through when it needed to. You took advantage of penalties, but describe to me what it took from your team to win this game today.
Well, you know, I really think we had to rally back, I guess. But, you know, I think we had one series in the third quarter. But, you know, Brian Lewerke played outstanding. And, you know, we had a couple drop balls as well. But, I mean, big plays by him throughout the whole day and very consistent and no turnovers. They didn't have any either. So, but, you know, we got some work to do defensively, you know. But sometimes you got to do that sometimes. Maybe take a step back and look at yourself a little bit. But played well the last series.
You talk about your quarterback. He now has 6,000 passing yards, 1,000 career rushing yards. But explain how he led this team in that final drive.
Well, first of all, I think he's only one of two quarterbacks maybe to ever run for 1,000 yards here, so in his career. So that's outstanding. But you know, he's very confident, and I think our players rallied around him, and he got it done.
Matt Coghlin, he has had his ups and downs recently, but to see him put it through there at the end, what was that like for you?
Well, it was a big win. It's a big win, but, you know, we've got a lot of confidence in Matt. You know, he's a good kicker. He was first team all-conference last year, so he'll be all right. He'll be fine. You got to keep believing in him. You know, keep believing in people, and they'll come through.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thanks, and go green.
We saw the note, but Mark D'Antonio is now 10-1 all-time when facing the Indiana Hoosiers.